We're ready to start the next session, and these are the Democrat candidates for U.S. Representative 3rd District, and the person that will interview them is Mary Rupert, editor of the Wyandotte Daily News, and she will now ask the candidates questions. Mary?
Thank you. Today we have Devin Roberts representing Kelly Coltala and Reggie Marcellus running for the U.S. Representative 3rd District. And to start off, we will have 3-minute opening statements. Let's see. Now, did we have a coin toss?
Yeah, I'm going first.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
Hello, and thank you for inviting us, and I'm sorry Kelly couldn't come here. There was a scheduling conflict. I moved to Kansas from Detroit to work for Kelly because we need more women elected to public office. With all that has happened in the war on women, with laws restricting our health care passing in multiple states, the Hobby Lobby ruling, and Todd Aiken's comments from across the river, we need more women in Congress to continue the progress of fighting for what we've been fighting for generations. Kelly is committed to ensuring that equal pay for equal work becomes a reality in this country and is no longer just an unfulfilled promise. Kelly's husband has had ongoing health issues throughout their marriage, which strained their finances almost to bankruptcy. She knows that too many of our middle-class families are living on the edge because she has been a member of one such family. That is why I'm voting for Kelly. Because she knows that no family should ever stare bankruptcy in the face because someone gets sick. She will fight to ensure that we do not regress to a time when insurance companies could drop you just because you're ill. Kelly's running because we need to reset the priorities in Washington. She's the candidate with the experience to both do that and beat Kevin Yoder in November. In our community, Kelly has run her own business. She's worked in the nonprofit sector and been an elected public official. She helps bring people together with a focus on growth in our economy. She works with people the Kansas way by checking her ego at the door to get things done and prioritizing solutions over politics. In the state Senate, Kelly helped to create thousands of jobs by working with locally elected officials to bring the Sporting Kansas City Stadium and Cerner office complex to Kansas City, Kansas. She stood up to Sam Brownback during budget negotiations and fought to ensure that our children's education funding was protected. She's running an aggressive campaign that puts her in a position to challenge Kevin Yoder in the fall. She has made more than 9,000 phone calls and spoken with thousands of voters. She has a campaign capable of competing. That is why she's earned the endorsement of so many respected Kansans, including former Governor John Carlin, Kansas Democratic Party Chair Joan Wagnon, Wyandotte County Chair Scott Mackey, Johnson County Chair Kyle Russell, former Mayor Carol Marinovich, the Kansas AFL-CIO, the KNEA, and the Kansas City Star, which is why I encourage you to vote for Kelly on August 5th. Thank you.
Reggie.
I'm Reggie Marcellus. I am a retired electrical construction worker. For 30 years, I wore a hard hat. I wore bib overalls and steel-toed boots and safety glasses. And I worked to build things that you can see. Now, in my retirement, I want to work to build something that you cannot yet see, and that is your future. President Obama said, "Send me a Congress in 2014 that wants to build a road." Ladies and gentlemen, I build things, and I want to build roads. Our nation's infrastructure has a potential of $3 trillion to our economy, with hundreds of thousands of workers for decades, all paying taxes, and it will revitalize our nation's economy. I also want to see Social Security protected. My approach to that is hands off. I believe that if we open the door to any reform, once you open the door, reform comes in a flood. The Social Security system is doing just fine. In fact, I heard a news report. The news report said in 12 years, Social Security will be busted. Everybody who is retired is going to go on welfare, and we're going to see all kinds of catastrophes in 13 years. That news report was broadcast in 1977 by Paul Harvey. Ladies and gentlemen, the Social Security system has been maligned ever since it was passed, and it's doing just fine. I want to be the congressman from the 3rd District so that every citizen in America gets the rights they deserve as citizens. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now it's our time for questions, and I have been informed that Devin will not answer questions today, and so all the questions will be for Reggie. You have 5 minutes for the first question if you need it, and a minute and a half for the rest of them. So, Wyandotte County in June had the highest unemployment rate of all the counties in Kansas at 7.9%. And KCK also had the highest unemployment rate of all the large cities in Kansas at 8%. If elected, what will you do to create jobs for Wyandotte County residents, and how will you do that?
Well, as I said in my opening statement, I believe that the repair of the infrastructure, not just nationally, but locally, will put literally hundreds of people to work in Wyandotte County. All you have to do is drive through the county and see the roads, see the buildings, see the structures, the bridges, and everything that needs to be done. And that is work literally for hundreds of people in Wyandotte County. And also we can have jobs that will bring the support of the programs in Wyandotte County to restore the cuts that have been made because of budget cuts. And so I want to see budget cuts restored so that people can get their jobs back.
Thank you. What do you see as the main differences on the issues between you and your primary opponent?
Kelly and I are both Democrats, and we agree on many things. The difference is the emphasis. I believe that I bring the experience of a working man, and I will work for you as a working man in the U.S. Congress.
Thank you. Given the boundaries and political makeup of the 3rd District, do you believe it is possible for a Democrat to be elected? And if so, what would you need to do to be elected?
The strategy to be elected is a world-class ground game. Even big money can be defeated by a large amount of small people. And so that is the strategy that I would use to get elected in the 3rd District.
Okay, more along the subject of money, I was reading a report from the Center for Responsive Politics recently, and they said that Kevin Yoder had raised $1.6 million, had spent $584,000 something, and had $2.14 million cash on hand as of July 16th. Kelly Coltala had raised $160,915, spent $76,914, and had $84,000 something cash on hand, and that you have raised $2,090, spent $4,015, and have $1,300 cash on hand. So if this is correct, how are these huge gaps or disparities in financing affecting this election?
While Mr. Yoder may want to buy his way into U.S. Congress, I plan to work my way into the U.S. Congress.
Okay, thank you. And here's my last question. What can the federal government do to make sure the money it makes available to local governments for local communities actually gets there? And as we keep hearing that federal assistance is being reduced. And so what would you propose to do at the federal level to help local governments?
The federal level of money that is reduced because of staff cuts in the federal government that handle the programs that divvy out the money. So I want to see all of those staff cuts restored. I want to see the federal employment rate go up, and I want to see more federal workers working to get that money where it belongs.
Thank you very much. And now we have our closing statements. And Bridget, how long do they have for that?
2 minutes.
2 minutes each. So shall we start with Devin?
As I said earlier, Kelly is the candidate who can beat Kevin Yoder in November. Her polls were in her favor, with only 30% people wanting to re-elect him, and her messaging polled better and ahead of him with 44-40. With her experience, she knows how to keep the focus on the middle class and on education. She will be the Congresswoman citizens of the 3rd District they deserve and can trust. So please vote for Kelly on August 5th and tell your friends to vote for her as well. If you have questions or want more information on Kelly's policies, please go to kellykoltala.com, or if you have questions, you can come find me after this is done. Thank you so much, and have a good night.
Reggie?
I want to be your congressman for the 3rd District. The money gap only tells me that the people who have the money can buy more advertising. If you allow advertising to affect your vote, then you're not paying attention. And if you elect someone who buys more advertising because they have more money, then the only person you've elected is somebody who had more money and could buy more advertising. I want to be your congressman for the 3rd District, and I want to represent you. And if you will vote for me, I will see that your vote is registered in Washington, D.C. When I stand up for an issue, you will be standing up with me. When I speak on the floor of the House of Representatives, it will be your speech. And when I work for an issue, I go there not so that I can tell you what I'm going to do. I go there so that you can tell me what you want me to do. And that's why we need someone like myself in the U.S. Congress. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.